And we're live. Steve and Ann coming to you from Bartlett, Illinois. And actually, we're in the opposite corner of the dining room, so you'll notice the backdrop is a little bit different, but we thought we'd mix it up. So, that said, we are talking about the empty nest syndrome.
Right.
And there is a big upside to it. It's an amazing new life that just appears sort of out of nowhere, and it's like, this is for real. And I do the happy dance or a bit of a jig, kind of jump up and down and whatever.
And I think we talked about this last time. There can be a bit of adjustment. But for us, here's some of the things that we have observed. And I think
Experience for
Right.
real.
because our youngest left when she was 18 and she is 27 now. So it's been 9 years. Hallelujah. Yeah. Good times.
Shut up.
I know, good times. It's been good
It
times.
doesn't seem like 9 years.
But some of the mysteries, I think, that get solved once your children move out.
Yeah, you can't blame them anymore.
No.
And that was one of the great things. It was never my fault.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you find that broken cup or glass, you always blame it on the kids. You're like, oh, that one did it. And you're like, oh, then you punish them or you yell at them or something. Or
Beat them severely.
Not really. And my personal favorite is, the person who leaves a tablespoon of milk in the milk carton.
Yes,
Now
wasn't
we
me.
know who it is. Or that teaspoon in the ice cream container that has now got the protective ice on it because
So, just a quick story because this will live, and I have to write this down. When I was a kid, there were 8 of us, 8 children in my home, and in my parents' home.
if one left, would your parents have noticed? No.
So my father liked, this is back in the day when highballs were big. And if you don't know what a highball is, I'm not going to
I
explain
think
it. But anyway,
it's whiskey and ginger ale.
right?
Yeah.
And so back in the day, they only had the tops, the metal
Kim,
tops.
if you're watching, I'm sure you'd like it. Okay.
The tops on the bottles that you could only open with a can opener. So, they would never fit right. And so it was just, my father would have his ginger ale and he would put it in the fridge and the little top would be sitting on top. And so there were 8 of us and we didn't have, there was no pop, there was no candy, there was no cake. If it was devoured instantly and it was gone. So this ginger ale was in the fridge, and of course, 8 of us, one at a time, when no one else was looking, would sneak into the fridge and take a sip out of the ginger ale. And so, but the catch to it is you couldn't take the last sip. Anything else but the last sip was permissible.
It's a strategy. I like the strategy.
So,
you never get blamed.
I remember sitting in the room so many times when my father would open the fridge to get his ginger ale to make his highball, and there would be like 1/8 of an ounce in the bottle.
But the thing is, once all you kids left, it probably was your mother who was doing
No,
it.
it was us.
Well, no, I bet it was your mother too. Your mother was probably
Maybe
doing
she
it
was
too.
in on it,
Yeah,
but
she-
it was
she
us.
could
I mean,
have
it was
been.
just too crazy. So anyway,
I mean, and for me, because I had 5 girls, the toilet paper roll, every time I go into the bathroom, there would be no toilet paper.
and so she'd be screaming, "Can somebody get me some toilet paper?"
And usually I'd be in there for 5 or 10 minutes. But
Because no one was paying any attention.
nowadays, not a problem. I always know it's my job to replace it, and I have no
Hey, I
worries
do it
about
too.
that. Occasionally. Another positive thing that we found is you can brag to your friends that you have a spare room. Very
and it's
impressive.
legit.
And it's legit. And if you're really up there and cool, you have 2 spare rooms. You don't like this one? But there's more.
We have another one.
So that's the fun part of just being in the crowd that has spare rooms. True story. True story.
So, oh, and then, well, we did the ice cream thing,
Yeah, the ice cream thing is always
sort of with the milk thing, where, with the ginger ale thing,
Yeah,
as long as you don't take the last bite,
right.
it's permissible because then you put the container back in the fridge or the freezer and you didn't eat it all. As long as you didn't eat it all, you're safe.
Yeah.
And
Well,
so, then
it's
we'd
true.
say, who ate all the ice cream? Wasn't me.
Wasn't me.
There was still some left when I.
See, for me as a woman and having 5 daughters,
And for me, as a woman,
I is that an
kidding.
announcement? Anyway, I love going into a bathroom where everything that I laid out that's my makeup, my jewelry, my toothbrush, they're all in the same place I left them.
and you still can't find them.
Yeah, I can. I know where
Oh,
they are.
okay.
Yeah. It's just nice to have things in order and not to have things borrowed for 3 or 4 years. I went and visited one of my daughters one time after they had moved to Florida, and I was like, there is my missing coffee cup that I had looked for like, it was my favorite coffee cup. And I thought, and there's that pan that I said, who has my pan? Nobody had it. So I found a lot of my kitchen in my daughter's house, which that was that. So I should be flattered that they like it, right?
Right. The other thing is that the good, the bad, and the ugly is those things you can't find.
It's your fault.
It's nobody's fault. There's only 2.
Yeah.
Now, I used to blame the kids for everything. And it was
It's fun to do
It was
that.
awesome.
Yeah, it was
And,
amazing.
and just like,
I would
who
hi-
took it?
I would highly recommend blaming your children.
For everything.
I mean, they're going to blame you once they get older for everything, so do it now. It works
While you have the
great.
chance.
Yeah, while you have the chance. I think Steve's favorite thing is having all daughters. He had to be sensitive to his attire. So now, if Steve does not feel like wearing attire, he does
I
not
don't
have to
have to
wear
care.
it. No, there's nobody here.
No
that
one's going to scream
No,
when I walk downstairs and surprise me. Ah!
No.
It's like,
no.
no, except the dog, but he can't talk.
He doesn't scream. He's just like, "What? Are you talking to me?"
Yeah,
No, no,
whatever.
no, no.
You again? What is that about?
Freddie's completely is probably 90% deaf, so you can scream at him and he's like, "Is somebody talking to me? I have no idea." But yeah, that's I think Steve's favorite. We also can pretty much watch any TV show we want. When the kids are here, they like to watch
Stuff that we don't want to watch.
reality TV, which I personally hate. I do like cooking shows, that's reality, and I do like some HGTV, but any of those other stupid shows, hate them.
And the other cool thing is, we don't get reprimanded or the big, what would you call that? A sigh or the big disapproving, like, when you
Really?
say something like refer to something from the 70s or the 60s or, when you were a kid and, it's
See,
sort
that
of
was
like
that was
ingrained
totally
in you.
groovy, and my daughters are like, yeah, you're gonna have to let that one go. That's embarrassing. You embarrass me, and I'm like, that's
Now that was a sport that I
privilege.
really enjoyed.
You did enjoy that.
Embarrassing
That's
the
an
kids.
enjoyable.
I
Do it
mean,
now while you can.
Well, it was so easy.
Well, you didn't have to do anything.
No, you just be
Exist.
yourself, and they would be like dying, and you're like, okay,
Good
well,
times for us.
It's just me being me, and so that was a lot of fun.
It is. It still is fun.
It still is fun.
I mean, if at all possible, I would say enjoy embarrassing your children, because when they get to be adult children, you're sort of can be embarrassed by some of the things they do. So it does
But
payback
you
is
still can embarrass them by being
normal,
sort of. I mean, yeah, just by
happy,
being
funny, crazy,
not
alive,
caring.
alive.
Yes.
We didn't wake up dead today. Good thing.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
all those
gosh.
are funny for us, aren't they?
Yeah.
So anyway, there's lots of really positive things about not having children, and we're not saying we don't love our children. We
We just love it that they're not living in our house.
we do.
We love them.
Yes, we do love all of our daughters and our grandchildren, and and Doug and Blake are awesome son-in-laws, and Jake, who's my daughter Andrea's boyfriend, he's amazing, and I just have to say, it's great having adult relationships, but it can still be a challenge, as we've all
Oh,
found out.
gosh.
But anyway, we
You ever
just
hear
want-
the story of the Taj Mahal, where the guy built it for his wife, and then his son became king, and he locked his father in the prison, where the only window is what he could see, and the guy died there. You know, the children thing, it can go very badly.
I think one of our daughters would do that, but not the others. So I guess they'd fight for us. Isn't that a great feeling?
It is. It is. It is.
Anyway, cheers to all your children. If you don't have children, you're lucky. And
If you do, be meaner to them in the beginning, and they'll reward you in the end.
probably.
If you try and be too nice, yeah, it doesn't work that
But
well.
if you don't have children and you regret it, that's okay.
Get over it.
No, there's plenty. There are plenty of people out there that would love to have you in their life. Good times. Good evening. Thanks for watching.